Now, was this the best day yet? Was this the most entertaining match day yet at this World Cup? I mean, it gets my vote. Big shout out to the African countries for showing up and providing a ton of entertainment, and a big good riddance to the 5 a.m. kickoffs here. Finally, I can wake up at a normal, well, I mean, who am I kidding? I get up at 6 a.m. anyway. I'm Adrian, by the way. Hello and welcome to another World Cup recap, a daily upload here from Rabona TV. If you're new here, join us with a subscription. It is free. It costs you $0. This, I promise you. With Cameroon facing Serbia, the first news of the day was of course dominated by the fact that Andre Onana had grabbed his things and head home. Onana left Cameroon's World Cup squad after he and manager Rigobert Song had a disagreement over how Onana should be playing. Allegedly, Song wanted Onana to take fewer risks in his own box and play more straightforward. A bit of a strange situation. Samuel Eto'o tried to smooth things over, but allegedly Onana didn't want to change his ways, so the coaching staff thought it would be better if he would leave if he didn't want to help his country. So anyway, aside from that, Cameroon started this match on the front foot as they scored about 30 minutes into this one from a corner. Near post header carried the ball to the back post for center back Jean-Charles Castelletto to score one of the easiest goals of his life and Cameroon's first goal of this World Cup. That goal came against the run of play in some respects, and Serbia equalized about 15 minutes later in first half stoppage time, which was crazy. A nice 6-minute chunk for Serbia to bite into, and man, did they ever make the most of it. First, Pavlovic with a goal from a Dusan Tadic cross that left Cameroon keeper Devis Apasi completely stranded. Great header. Well, just 2 minutes later, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic gave Serbia the lead with a left-footed strike into that bottom corner. I do feel like Apasi could have done better with that one in the Cameroon goal. Wasn't the most sweetly struck. Perhaps his view of the ball was blocked by his own defender though, so I'll cut him some slack there. Also, there never should have been an opportunity here in the first place had Anguissa, of all people, not played with his food, if you know what I'm saying, around the edge of his own box. Bad place to give it up. But Serbia's third goal in the 53rd minute was an absolute exhibition. From where they won the ball in midfield, Mitrovic drove forward and started a stunning attacking movement from Serbia, passing their way from left to right all the way out to Zivkovic, who then stepped around the keeper and unselfishly squared the ball to Mitrovic for probably the best team goal we'd seen at this World Cup thus far. That was Mitro's 7th goal in his last 6 appearances for Serbia. The man is prolific. But everything changed once Vincent Aboubakar came on. One of the modern heroes for Cameroon, and the man scored just 8 minutes into his arrival from the bench, and what a stunner. Played through, he stepped around his defender brilliantly, sent him for a hot dog, then unleashed one of the most filthy scooped chips you will ever see. The way the ball climbed and then dropped at pace was wild. Initially flagged for offside, but awarded in the end, and rightfully so. Minutes later, Aboubakar was played through once again, and this time he squared to Choupo-Moting, and just like that, we went from what was looking like a convincing Serbia win at 3-1 to the game turned on its head by Aboubakar and his teammates, making it 3-3. 6-goal thriller. The 1-2 punch shell-shocked Serbia for a while as they failed to get anything going in the other direction, not until the 88th minute when the ball was squared to Mitrovic around the penalty spot and his strike just curled wide of the post. That would be all from this one. The 5 a.m. kickoff going out with a bang. That was perhaps the best match of the World Cup up until that point. Ghana and Korea would have something to say about that later. But for Serbia, they will be kicking themselves with how they choked in this game. Yes, a ton of credit to Aboubakar and Cameroon, as I have already given out, of course, because they deserve the point, but 3-1 up, you should be controlling the game if you're Serbia. And to allow Cameroon to come back in and then split the points, that can be the difference for you as far as your progression in this group. And Serbia fumbled it, while Cameroon have given themselves a chance, potentially. Now, another look at Brazil came via their match against Switzerland. If ever there was a team that could frustrate and lock down that free-flowing attack from Brazil, I would put my money on Switzerland. This is becoming an ongoing theme on this channel, isn't it? Adrian complaining about playing against Switzerland even when neither of his teams are playing against Switzerland. Look, I've had many experiences of watching Portugal play Switzerland, and even in changing managers, they remain a difficult team to play against. And early against Brazil, it was actually Switzerland that were getting in behind that Brazilian back line a few times, with Ruben Vargas being the main troublemaker, just as he was late in the half, where he nearly conjured a chance for himself out of nothing. But Brazil began to take hold, carving opportunities for themselves to get in behind and from wide crosses. The best chance, no doubt, fell to Vini Jr. in the first half, who was dangerous as per usual once again, but he either scuffed his chance or he slipped, because the finish was a weak one by his own standards, and Sommer dealt with it relatively easily. You could see that Neymar was a missed presence out there. As you probably know already, but just in case you weren't aware, he has been ruled out for the remainder of the group stage minimum, as he has a case of club foot. I mean, he rolled his ankle real bad. But yeah, his presence was missed as Fred stepped in to play just ahead of Casemiro in the midfield, while Paqueta was in that creator role, more advanced role. Not a bad player in his own right, of course, a huge talent, but Neymar is the guy. Not only what he does on the ball, but the attention he demands from defenders off of it as well. It's a huge miss. In the second half, Switzerland had another good opportunity early that will have had Brazilian supporters' pulses quickening. Then the match returned to status quo. Brazil teasing balls through the box that their players can't reach or can't get a clean finish on, while Switzerland bide their time and wait to hurt Brazil on the counter. They're the masters of that. They're a great side. But finally, we got a breakthrough in the 65th minute when a bit of a scramble in midfield led to a ball wide to Vinicius, who even did Neymar's celebration as a dedication to the man who had to sit this match out. But unfortunately, Richarlison was way offside in the build-up. If only there had been a touch along the way to cancel that offside. But unfortunately for Brazil, it was rightfully chalked off. But all good things from Brazil came from Vinicius' left side, and that continued throughout until Antony replaced Rafinha on the right. Then things looked much better on the right side as well. And the goal finally came, and it came from who? Perhaps not the first name on the score sheet, but a man who delivers a big goal now and then. Is it just me, or does Casemiro tend to score some massive goals for club and country? Again, the danger coming from the left side of Brazil's attack in the 83rd minute after a great switch of play. Vinicius cuts inside, passes to Rodrigo, and his first time pass put it in the path of Casemiro to hit a deflected strike past his stranded Jan Sommer. Real Madrid, current and former, linking up to win it for Brazil 1-0. And that win means Brazil are through, and just as I had predicted and hoped, the Switzerland and Serbia match on the final match day will be a winner takes all, or depending how things go in Brazil versus Cameroon, a draw could be enough for Switzerland to go through. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. There's always the possibility that Cameroon beat a rotated Brazilian side, and a loss for Switzerland leads to Cameroon going through. I mean, anything is possible at this point. Ghana versus South Korea was a great full-blooded affair, man. South Korea looked like the team with more attacking verve and acumen in the early exchanges, causing havoc in transition, and from their own patient build-up alike. However, despite all of their domination, they couldn't get a single attempt on target or carve out a genuine chance in the box, and you know football is a cruel game in that regard, right? Don't take your chances early, and you will be punished later. That's for sure. The goal that Ghana punished South Korea with was pretty funny in some respects. The fake kick, oldest trick in the book, from a free kick, scrambled up the defense, followed by a scramble in the box that Salisu was able to slap past the keeper for 1-0 Ghana. From there, Ghana seemed to have settled quite a bit, slowing the game down, taking their time on the ball more, and they really started to ball on South Korea. A big shout out to Jordan Ayew for playing one of the most beautiful balls into the box that I've seen this World Cup. Inch perfect on the edge of the 6-yard box, so the keeper couldn't come rushing out for it, but just beyond the central defenders as well. A peach of a ball that Mohamed Kudus just needed to get a glancing touch on to guide it past Kim in goal. Ghana, great value for their lead. Jordan Ayew on a hat trick of assists at that point, by the way. But after our 6-goal thriller earlier in the day, this match absolutely delivered as well. A massive shout out to the African sides once again, as well as South Korea, who at 2-0 down, clawed it back to 2-2. In 3 minutes and 2 excellent crosses, Cho Gui-sung grabbed a quick brace to bring his country level and give them hope of advancing out of the group stage by their own volition in the next match day against Portugal. The delivery from South Korea into the box was consistently great, all throughout that second half, while Ghana's defense was consistently great and heroic at times. Just as Mohamed Kudus' performance in this match was heroic throughout. After that great goal to double Ghana's lead, an attack down the left saw a squared ball get aired by Iñaki Williams, and thankfully so, because it fell to Kudus and he slapped it past the keeper for 3-2 Ghana. Pandemonium, man. The end of this match was ridiculous. All hands on deck defending for Ghana, and again, the deliveries into the box from South Korea were dangerous. They were excellent, but every opportunity was either saved by Ati in goal or headed away by Amarty and Salisu. Ghana hold on for a 3-2 win. Kudus, the goal-scoring hero. What an insane match. That 1-2 punch of the Serbia-Cameroon game followed by this. I mean, my morning was great. Portugal versus Uruguay was predictably not that fun to watch. I don't know. I love you, nation of Uruguay, but I absolutely hate how your team plays. You have quality going forward. You don't need to play so inside yourselves and rely on solo runs from guys like Bentancur and Valverde as your only way to get forward. By the way, Bentancur nearly scored a beauty. Anyway, for Portugal, much of the match was playing out how I expected, aka 2018 World Cup rerun. Uruguay sitting deep and allowing Portugal to pass around them and being timid to go forward, just waiting for their opportunity to go forward in transition. For Portugal, I thought William Carvalho was the player of the match up until the second goal from Bruno went in. He looked fantastic in that 8 role for Portugal. And even after Bruno had scored that opener, I still thought William was that dude. Then Bruno took over with that penalty, which should have been retaken for my money, given the encroachment from Portuguese players like Palhinha, and he grabbed the Man of the Match award. As for the awarding of the penalty itself, I feel for Jimenez as that kind of sucks for him. Your support hand blocking the ball is unfortunate, but the referee similarly is left with little choice but to award it because it affected the play greatly. It's not technically at his side, and it did affect the play. Yo, Editor Adrian here. Just quickly wanted to add this into my little blurb about the penalty and how it sucks for Jimenez, but it's the right call. If the referees don't start calling that, then you're going to see defenders sliding with their hands between their legs for the rest of time and it going unpunished. And that's not a world that we all want to live in, right? So unfortunately, while it sucks, sliding with your hand between your leg and the ball hitting it is going to be a handball every time, or at least it should be every time, because otherwise defenders are going to exploit that if it goes unpunished. Aside from that, Ronaldo celebrating Bruno's goal as if he had touched it was some much needed humor in this match. It was all a bit boring from that until that point, and Ronaldo's action smacked of Harry Kane trying to claim that goal. Love that. Thank you to Ronaldo for providing us that very funny moment. I provide no thanks to the football gods for taking Nuno Mendes away, though. After getting that injury in October, he was seemingly okay for the World Cup, and he even featured for PSG prior to the tournament, but all of that strain reared its ugly head, and he went off in the first half with tears in his eyes. Unfortunate for him, as he was killing it down that left side with Jean-Felix and William. They're combining so well together. Overall, Portugal played a lot better than I expected, which was aided by Uruguay being way worse than I expected. Big 3 points for Portugal. That means Portugal are already through to the round of 16 and just need a draw to secure first, which they must do. Hell, there's even a world where they could lose to South Korea and they could still advance in first. Ghana will play against Uruguay and have a chance to get revenge against Uruguay. I'm excited for that match. Okay, guys. We now move on to the final match days, where matches are played simultaneously in their respective groups to decide who finishes where, who stays, who they play against, and who's going home. I can't wait, and on Saturday, the round of 16 begins. I'm Adrian, thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.